So it looks like it's gonna be a wet one today. It can't be nice every single time that we go rock crawling. Sometimes you just gotta deal with a little bit of mud and rain. The rain's supposed to let up here shortly, and hopefully it doesn't leave everything too muddy. But if it does, oh well, we'll just make the best of it. Huh, Maddie?
Yeah, we will.
What do you think about the rain?
It's not my favorite. It could be gone.
Yeah, we're so used to having perfect weather. Well, it's March in Colorado, and the mountains are getting a ton of snow. So down here in the valleys, we're getting rain. We'll see what kind of traction we get out here on these rocks. Everyone's tires all caked up. Hopefully it dries up a little bit. As we get up to the first obstacle, I keep telling Maddie, turn more driver, and I could tell she's apprehensive about it, but the one thing is she's got to learn to trust me, because with the extra mud, I know she has to turn extra hard into that wall to get the tire to climb it. When things are drier, it's a lot easier to climb a rock like that.
Okay, now turn a little passenger, right there. Now keep going. A little bit more passenger. You're okay, you got plenty. Right there, now go forward.
At one point I had looked over and Maddie just had the steering wheel clenched like this and was just looking at me like, are you sure? You're sure you want me to keep going forward? I was like, absolutely, keep following that.
Keep in it, don't fall off. Now there.
Well, it felt it felt slippery, and when it started going a little tippy, I started to freak out, and I got really scared, and then when you said just keep going, in my mind I was just like, nope, and then you were just like, keep going, and so I went for it, and as soon as the tire hit it, it went right up, and then I still felt bad about it.
Why'd you still feel bad?
Well, I don't know. It just felt scary for me.
It felt scary, but it turned out okay, right?
Oh yeah, it turned out great.
Front passenger. There you go. Now more front passenger. More front passenger. Rear driver.
My favorite thing about driving on Billings Canyon was, well, that it was more challenging. It had a lot of obstacles and it wasn't too hard or too easy.
There you go. More front passenger.
So tell me, what's your favorite thing about rock crawling?
Spending time with family, getting to learn stuff, and having a good time.
And just having a good time?
Just like that, easy, easy. Just keep following that. More front driver. There you go. Okay, rear passenger, just a little. Okay, now follow that. You're going, it's going. A little bit more. A little bit more. You're good, stop there.
So I really like these Nittos and a mixture of this like mud, kind of mud sand mix. They work amazing. I mean, on that last obstacle, these tires barely even slipped. They just maintained really good traction. So really happy with these in like these variable type conditions. Not long after the first obstacle on Billings, the trail known as Pinch Point takes off to the left. Now with the extra mud, pinch point wasn't really doable this day. We went up there and tried to put tires on it, but it was just too muddy. So we ended up turning around and heading back out and continuing up Billings. After a little bit, Maddie wanted to go run off and play off onto the side of the trail with one of her friends. And Emily was riding her motorcycle, and she got to the point the trail was getting a lot harder, and it was getting harder to get the motorcycle through the trail. So she asked if she could drive the rock crawler and then have me drive the trials bike up through the rest of the trail. So what we did is have her sit in the driver's seat and now start driving again. The only problem, she was wearing motorcycle boots. Motorcycle boots don't flex very good for trying to push foot pedals. That's not what they're designed for. So she had to take off her dirt bike boots and set them to the side and then drive in her socks.
Stay driver. Keep going driver, because it's going to drop off this. You're about to drop. If you don't stay, just keep going. Keep going.
On this particular obstacle, tire placement is crucial. 1 inch one way or the other can make a huge difference. Emily ended up slipping off the rock the first time, and we continued trying to drive up it just to see if it would go, but it's too undercut.
See if this tire will climb. It's pretty undercut. Em, it's too undercut. You got to back up. Keep going. Stay with that. There you go. Now just follow that.
I was driving in my socks. For some reason, it just felt natural to wrap my toes around like the brakes and the gas. So it felt kind of weird at first, but it was actually pretty comfortable.
Just like that, real easy. Ems, can you do a front dig from right here?
Once we found the right line and got Emily up to the top, we had her do a front dig because the front tires were getting into an undercut. What a front dig is when you put it into front only and disengage the rear axle. What that allows it to do is the front tires to spin and pull you up and out of an undercut so the rear doesn't push you further into the undercut. It allows the front end to settle out some more.
Right there. Now put it in drive. Now give us some gas. Work the front a little bit, driver. Okay, now try to come forward again. Ems, a little bit rear, driver. There, right there. Stay front passenger as you come up. There you go. All right, I just rode the trials bike up through the worst section. Emily was riding the trials bike, so she didn't want to ride through this section, so I took over. Well, she's gonna let her pick her own way through here.
What I like to do is let the girls drive as much as they can without having to spot them. When people first start, they're gonna need spotting. They need somebody to help keep an eye outside the vehicle. But the more you get comfortable driving, the less spotting that you actually need. With Emily in this rock section, I decided just to back off and let her drive through it. And if she was getting the front or rear diff hung up on a rock, I was gonna see if she could figure it out. If not, then I'll give her a suggestion to move the car one way or the other.
Mud, like, it covers your tires almost like frosting on a cake. And so when you try to drive up the rock, it makes it super slippery and wet. There's no traction because the mud is covering everything. Your tire can't grab the rock. Tried my very best to line myself up perfectly, and I gave it the momentum it needed, and it just kind of went right up because I was working the steering.
A little bit more, front driver. I mean rear driver. Rear driver. That's right there. Now try that. There it is. Just don't let the rear drop in there. Okay. You're almost there.
Once we get up to the exit obstacle, it's basically a giant undercut ledge, and there's one big rock in the middle. Tire placement is crucial. So what we do is line Emily up so that her front passenger tire gets up on the rock, and then you can climb the whole front end up onto this obstacle. And the rear tire has to follow the same line. You also have to use a little momentum so you don't get hung up on the belly.
Now a little bit front driver. Front driver, as you come up, just try a little momentum, just a little. There it goes. Just work the front, work the rear. There you go.
My favorite part of the Billings Canyon's trail was the exit. I liked how you had to keep momentum to do it.
We rock with it. Okay, right there. Now real slow. You're going. You're climbing. Just have the rear follow. Yeah, just like that. There you go, Maddie.
My favorite part about rock crawling is spending time with family, getting to do things that other people don't get to do. I'm pushing my limits.